You're almost ready to start creating your player. But first, there are a couple of important things you need to be aware of. You will use Android's Video View class. It will be used to display a video file in your application. You will need another component named Media Controller as well. It will provide you with the playback controls of the video player, such as play, pause, backward and forward to control the video player. And with the combination of Video View and Media Controller class, you will be able to create your video player. Now, let's move on to what you need to do to actually create your player. As you follow along, keep in mind that this is an overview, so it's okay if you don't understand everything that's happening in the code. I'm now going to create my video player. In the IDE, I already have the video I want to play in the raw folder. Because I generated this project from a basic activity template, I have an activity_main that has been automatically generated. And I have the main activity class as well. So, all that's left to do is to start writing code. I'm going to have to access the video view player in the activity_main file because it's used to play the video in MP4 format. So, I need to make a reference to the controller here in the UI interface. When I go to the Design tab, you'll notice that right now the interface is blank. But let me get back to the code. From the code base, which is the XML equivalent code for the UI, I need to start writing something. Here is the code for the video view controller that I'm going to use. And here is a unique ID, test view. I can choose to name it anything I want, but for now, I'm calling this test view and it's there to manage the rendering on the UI. These are properties you have to define to ensure that the UI is properly rendered on the interface. Here, you can notice how the video view I just added to the XML displays in the Design tab. At this point, I can't do anything with it yet. I have to program it and make sure that I can play and pause. But before I can do this, I need to go back to the main activity class. This isn't doing anything right now either. I have to make sure that the video view player in the activity_main XML can respond to user inputs. So, I have some code for that. But before I start writing anything, I want to discuss a function named onCreate. onCreate is used for the main activity. It is the entry point of the application. When the app runs, this is where it goes first, the onCreate code snippet. I'm going to put my code after setContentView because this is going to set the content, the activity_main I just created. So, I'm going to put my code here after this line when the content has been rendered by the compiler. Let me explain the code step by step. This is a reference to the video player I just created in the activity_main.xml. This is a test view. I make a reference to the test view, and that's why I have declared a variable here named video view. What I want to do is find the property. It should examine all the view groups that have this test view property, and then retrieve it and store it in the temporary variable. Once this is in place, the next thing to do is to create an instance of Media Controller. Media Controller enables me to have control over the video view player. So if I want to play, pause, or forward, the Media Controller handles those activities. Now that I have this one in place, handling the activities, I need to make a reference to the location of the file. The MP4 video that has to be accessed is inside RAW. With the URI, I have access to the directory or the location of the file I want to play. This code snippet is performing the operation, which is why it's needed in the code base. The next step is to play the video. I need to be able to set the controller you just created to video view. That's because I want video view to have control over the media controller. I'm setting the controller to it, meaning that this controller is specifically for this video view. So, if you have two other video views within the same UI, you'll have different controllers for them. After this, the next step is to set the location of the video I want to play. And that's the URI here. I've already set the variable here, and I've set the value as well. So now we are saying that sets the video URI, which is here. The next step is to ensure that there's a focus. That's why I'm using request focus here. This reference is a function that allows you to be able to start the video immediately and then focus on the controller of which we have the last phase, which is on end start. All these things are basic configurations you need to have in place before you start the video itself. I'm going to start the emulator now. Let's examine what it looks like there. I'm just waiting for it to come up since it's busy installing the application. So, here's the video playing right now. And this is the controller. If you tap on this to focus on the video, then the controller will pop up. You can pause, play, and you can forward. And there you have a video player. I hope you enjoyed this walkthrough of the process of creating the video player. First, I added the video view to the XML, and I made sure that the video view player can respond to user inputs. Then I used onCreate to make sure that the application starts at the right point, after which I referenced TestView, created an instance of Media Controller, and made reference to the location of the file. After that, I set the controller to Video View, used the URI to set the location of the video I want to play, and used Request Focus to start the video immediately and focus on the controller. And remember not to worry about knowing everything that's happening in the code at this point. You will have the opportunity to deepen your understanding in later courses on Kotlin, where the code is explained in more detail. Now, it's time for you to give creating a video player a try.